Today we're at the standard to combo off with Perennation by making it so we can never die by trying to reanimate a Herald of Eternal Dawn. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron-Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. So this week, we are heading to our new Tarkir Dragonstorm Standard format to try to make it so we can never die with the help of Herald of Eternal Dawn being reanimated by Perennation, our new mythic Abzan reanimation spell that gives Hexproof and Indestructible. So let's talk about our deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games and see if we can lock some opponents out of ever being able to win a game of Magic. So we are built around Perennation. Perennation, it's an expensive removal spell. It's 6 mana and in 3 colors, but it has a huge upside. We get to reanimate a permanent, and it comes into play with a hexproof counter and an indestructible counter, which means a decent amount of decks in standard are just never going to be able to deal with whatever we reanimate with Perennation. So what's the best thing to reanimate with Perennation? I'm pretty sure the answer is Herald of Eternal Dawn. So Herald of Eternal Dawn, it's basically our upgraded Platinum Angel, a 7 mana 6/6 flash flyer. Most importantly, it says you can't lose the game and your opponent can't win the game. So the goal of this deck, it is super simple. All we want to do is get a Herald of Eternal Dawn in the graveyard, reanimate with Perennation, and then we just sit back and trust that our opponent's never going to kill the angel. And if our opponent can never kill the angel, they can never win the game, which means sooner or later, we're going to win the game, right? Like worst case, absolute worst case scenario, eventually our opponent will draw their entire deck and mill out. So that's the idea of this deck. So to support this plan, we got to do a few things. First, we need to be able to get the angel in the graveyard. So for this, we have a few different options. Split Skin Dial, Collector's Vault, King Angel from our hand into the graveyard, Dredger's Insight, Overlord of the Baelmer, Cash Grab, can just mill it into the graveyard. So those are ways of digging through our deck to find the angel, get it in our graveyard. Also Split Skin Dial, Collector's Vault can dig to help find our Perennation. We also have a couple of stabilizing cards in Preacher the Schism and Skirmish Rhino. So if we run into creature decks, we have these 3-drops that have pretty big butts, good bodies. Skirmish Rhino even gains us some life and drains our opponent when it enters. So they're just good value plays that kind of gum off the board, generate some value as we're waiting to get up to 6 mana to try to reanimate our angel. We also get a bunch of removal. Get Lost, Quag Feast, Maelstrom Pause, Day of Judgment for a sweeper, and then Demonic Console. So when I first built this deck, I was running into a problem of not being able to find Perennation often enough. Like, I was doing a good job of filling the graveyard, getting the angel in the graveyard, but a lot of times I was milling all the Perennations, not drawing a Perennation. So I decided we need a tutor to find Perennation. It's just extra copies of Perennation. And it turns out the Demonic Console's kind of perfect for this deck, because we hit Delirium pretty easily. We got some artifacts, we have some enchantments, instants and sorceries and creatures and lands. So because we're self-milling, it's actually pretty easy to hit Delirium. And then Demonic Console is just a couple extra copies of Perennation to make sure we can reanimate the angel when we need to. Mana base, pretty typical standard stuff. Some of the tapped tri-lands, a bunch of fast lands and pain lands, some surveil lands, Great Arishan City, Fatal Passage, some basic lands, and that is Perennation combo for standard. That's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see just how easy it is to win the game of Magic by making it so we can never lose the game of Magic with Perennation and Herald of Eternal Dawn. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Much Abrew About Nothing time. It is Tarkir Dragonstorm time. We are checking out new standard and trying to make an unbeatable angel with Perennation. We will see. We will see. If you can make a hexproof indestructible Platinum Angel, do you just win? Hopefully. Or you have Hopeless Nightmare and we cry, one or the other. Well, let's do some milling. Step 1 is we got to get the angel in the graveyard. We have the Perennation, which is nice, up against Croakies, so probably a good deck Legion Extruder, eh? So, Jeskai Artifacts? All right, well, land, and let's get down the Preacher of the Schism. Probably not going to be great in this matchup, especially since we're at 17, so actually, we might be able to draw a card because of Skirmish Rhino. Skirmish Rhino might gain us enough here, actually. Opponent, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, that is the best card in the artifact deck. Although, honestly, if we can do our thing, I would be surprised if artifacts can actually beat it. I would be surprised if they can beat a Hexproof Indestructible Herald of Eternal Dawn. Yeah, let's just get in with the Preacher. Make a token. I think we are going to kill the Synthesizer. I think that's better than trying to draw with Skirmish Rhino. Threat 1 dealt with. Opponent land and United Battlefront. I feel like this is going to be one of the best cards in the artifact deck. It's so good if you're trying to synthesize or repurposing Bay. Because the sweet spot's 3 mana, right? That's how you get the most value out of United Battlefront, is hitting 2 3-drops, and artifacts well suited for that. All right. Repurposing Bay and a Perilous Snare. Loot. Oh, shout out to Wizards for not putting loot in Tarkir. I don't even know what happened, because I'm like 99% sure the end of the Ether Drift story was Loot and Jace and Vraska going to Tarkir, but then apparently they didn't show up, and I am thrilled. Well, let's do a little drawing here. Split Skin Doll into Split Skin Doll. We need to find a graveyard filler. Okay, we found an Angel. If we can find a Collector's Vault, we're kind of set up to do the combo. We're not under a ton of pressure at the moment, but we're going to be under a ton of pressure. Oh boy. Shikoe. Going to be under a ton of pressure very soon, because they can get a lot of synthesizers. So Synthesizer comes back. We know they can repurposing Bay into another one. Yeah, we got to get going. Fabled Passage. I mean, I guess we could. We're almost to the point of hard casting an Angel. The problem with hard casting is not hexproof and indestructible. Yeah, let's get down the Rhino. Let's blow up the Shiko. I mean, maybe we can get the aggro in. It seems unlikely, because once they start making constructs, our attacking's going to stop for a while. Man, I'd love a Collector's Vault. Legion Extruder for our opponent. Thankfully, that one does not make a construct. I'm going to kill the Split Skin Doll. Sure. And opponent. Repurposing Bay. Are we going to get a Synthesizer? It's always synthesizer. Almost always synthesizer. Yeah, there's an 8/8. Sure. I mean, the thing is, if we can get the Angel down with Perennation, we can't die, and we don't care how many constructs they make. So, oh my god. Okay, wait. We actually have Delirium too. Okay. Demonic Console is the perfect draw. This is in our deck to set up the combo. So we're going to Demonic Console. We are going to just take the Collector's Vault, I think, because this more or less guarantees we get to combo this turn, and I don't think they can kill us this turn. Like, they're gonna probably pop off and make a huge amount of constructs, but then we just loot away the Angel, Perennation it, and trust that we will never die. Do your worst. Legion Extruder gonna make it 3/3. We can also chump block here. That's the one good thing about the constructs, is they are chumpable. Wow, another synth. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of constructs. Oh, this is actually... Oh, I'm sorry, Croakies. This is actually going to be kind of hilarious, because Croakies is going to build a literally unbeatable board of constructs, and then we are going to jank them out with a very against the odds... a very against the odds combo here with Perennation. Yeah, that is what? We're up to 6 14/14s. Gonna get in with a 14/14. We will do a tiny bit of blocking here. Also nice that they're mostly tapped down. Not super worried about counters out of the artifact deck anyway, but the coast looks pretty clear. Crack that map. All right, map has been cracked. I mean, it's possible they have an answer. It seems unlikely, but it's possible. Well, here we go. Angel in the graveyard. Perennation. Reanimate it. Hexproof Indestructible. We can't lose the game. Our opponent can't win the game. I imagine that means we win the game, right? It's also a 6/6 flyer. So our win con, there is a concern, which is we could end up in a position where our opponent can never kill us, but we can't kill our opponent. Our plan for that is eventually we reanimate a Preacher of the Schism, which has Death Touch, and should eventually eat through our opponent's board. But hopefully we don't need it here. About it. Legion Extruder shoots down our Split Skin Doll. And then, I mean, yeah, you can repurposing Bay and get even more constructs. Repurposing Bay. Yep, gonna do a little sagging. Do we have anything better than a Synthesizer? Oh, that's not gonna work, because Perennation lesson, it has Hexproof and Indestructible. You may Perilous Snare away. Our Skirmish Rhino will never be the same. Yep, bring it. Here they come. Well, I guess we're gonna win this game at -91. Well, actually, maybe more than that. We're gonna win this game if it is actually played out at like negative, I don't even know, 200, 300 life. Oh, another. Okay, wait, do we have another angel? No, I guess we can make a killer split skin doll. Well, that's Collector's fault. Oh, okay. Well, there's another angel. Just in case you have a random edict or something, let's double trouble it. Angel number 2. Back up to -90. This Dreaderson site is going to keep us in the game. It's a long road back to 0, but we're on the path. Pound it. Repurposing phase. Sex the carrot cake. Gonna snag something. It's another Perilous Snare. Oh, well, there goes our get back to 0 plan. All right, opponent. No, another Perilous Snare. Boy, Hexproof is kind of busted, isn't it? Oh, about it. The big attack. We will, wow, -375. The good news is, wow, and another angel. We can never die. Well, hit you with the flyers, and that's why a Perennation Herald of Eternal Dawn. Trying to make it so we never die with Perennation. Reanimating. Herald of Eternal Dawn, so Skirmish Rhino. I love you, buddy, but we kind of want lands here in Perennations. The Paw Patch Recruiter, eh? Well, Get Lost will probably be good eventually, considering our opponent appears to be a creature deck. Well, let's do some Dredger's Insighting. Well, we'll get back a land. Did not mill anything of note. I guess we can get down the Preacher next turn, which is something. Opponent. So opponent Abzan counters, maybe? Could just be like an aggro deck. Paw Patch is good enough that you can just play it as a Savannah Lions. But it's even better in counters, because it does offer some counters. Paw Patch Part 2. Let's play the land, and I think we just get down the Preacher of the Schism. Blump, bump, blump, bump, bump. Kind of a funny indestructible threat, I guess. Sheltered by Goose. Yeah, well, Preacher down. Found it. It's us down to 13. We need to find a Perennation. Pass. I think we want to pass and try to do some shenanigans. Like, if our opponent attacks, we can pay the ward. Get Lost, the one that's sheltered by Ghosts. Ooh, new saga. Okay. Make 3/1/1s. Let's see if our opponent attacks with both. Wow, no, okay. The power of leaving up mana. No attacks. So I think we actually are just going to kill the Sheltered by Ghost here. We don't really care about the Paw Patch. Ooh, there's an Angel. But we don't really need the Angel. We need us a Perennation. And the Angel will go in the graveyard. Wow, we milled another one. Well, Skirmish Rhino. Back to hand. And yeah, let's just keep impending here. Overlord Part 2. Get back Preacher of the Schism. Gain a little life with Dredger's Insight. And yeah, there's probably no point in attacking. If we could draw a card, I'd consider it. But attacking just to make a 1/1 doesn't seem great. Especially since our opponent's team is about to get a little bigger here. Preacher is kind of locking down the ground, though. Found it. Map Crackage. Ooh, Collector's Cage. All right. All right, so Abzan Cage, found it. I'm gonna grow the dorks and grow the dorks. Next turn, wow, that Preacher is actually holding him off. Let's Split Skin Dow. I guess just hitting lands until we can hardcast Angel is also fine. That is okay. Okay, stuff's getting a little bit more real now. All right, there's a Perennation, so all we really need is like a Collector's Vault to get one of these Angels out of our hand, and then we're just off to the races. Opponent Saga, Lifelink, and Trample, and there's Collector's Cage. Opponent needs a little bit more removal. If they can find a removal spell, they can actually start getting in a lot of damage. Well, all right, spin it to win it. And, well, speaking of removal, Sheltered by Goose, back on the Paw Patch. We're going to get rid of the Preacher. Good thing we have this Skirmish Rhino, though, which also... Wow, no attacks! All right, it's... Oh, these big... Oh, my... Yeah, we actually got to keep them. We got to. My impulse is just like put it in the graveyard, but no. Collector's Vault is better than trying to dig for a land here. If we hit another land, we can play the Angel, but we really want the Indestructible Hexproof Angel more than just casting one land and Collector. It's kind of crazy how well our deck is playing defense right now. Well, let's play the Collector's Vault, and we're just gonna. There's no Angel in the graveyard. We're just gonna pass. Well, I guess we can loot now and see if we can hit a land. That might be better. I don't expect our opponent to have graveyard hate. This does kind of maybe let our opponent know what's up. Like, once you see Herald of Eternal Dawn, you gotta at least be suspicious that there are shenanigans afoot, because who plays Herald of Eternal Dawn? Well, let's get back to Dow. Gain a little life with Dredger's Insight. Dredger's Insight's so good. The life gain's so impactful. Well, I mean, we get to double trigger it, so let's get in there, I guess. This might be greedy, but another Perennation. I'm feeling kind of safe now. Because the Indestructible Herald is coming. Opponent gonna cut down the token. I mean, this is fine. We get to kill the tokens. We can jump block with Skirmish Rhino if we need to. And then next turn, we do the thing and see if we can beat it. So far, the answer is no. I'm sure we will run into a deck that can beat it. Like, some decks can beat it. Hexproof Indestructible, really good, unless you're in a Sunfall or nowhere to run. Or maybe an Edict. Well, Perennation, Herald of Eternal Dawn. Hexproof, Indestructible, you can't lose the game, we can't win. No, you can't win the game, we can't lose the game. Almost said that backwards. Collector's Cage passes. Now I guess we swing with the Angel. I don't think we want to attack with the Overlords of the Baelmerk. We have milled a lot of cards, and we don't want to accidentally mill ourselves out. Not because we'd lose, because we wouldn't, but then we wouldn't have cards to draw, which would be sad. Well, let's reanimate another Angel. Now, even if you somehow can beat one, yeah, I mean... Good luck beating two Herald of Eternal Dawns. About it. Collector's Cage on the buddy. Add passes. Yeah, go to combat. Hit you with the Angels. Opponent can't jump with a bat. Yeah. Opponent drops to 11. So technically, we're presenting lethal next turn. Let's discard a land and play a Skirmish Rhino. And pass the turn. All right, opponent, you need something. Great hole. Wow, they had a hoof. Well, it is fortunate that we can't lose the game, or else we would be a little dead. I was not expecting the hoof, but hoof is a pretty sweet cage target. Like, maybe even better than Overlord, since it can just end the game if you got a board. Well, let's get back another Angel that we can hardcast if we need to, although, unfortunately for our opponent, well, a little bit dead. I mean, apparently we just win every game at a negative life. We are playing some Perennation combo, trying to reanimate Herald of Eternal Dawn in Tarkir Dragonstorm Standard. And this hand is okay. I would rather not have both Angels in hand. We really want them in the graveyard, but maybe we can find a Collector's Vault or something. We do have an Overlord, which is nice. Let's start filling the graveyard, and a Preacher, which is also fine. Gonna be interesting. I'm still trying to... Ooh, there goes a Collector's Vault. A little whiff with the Overlord. I'm still trying to figure out 3-color mana bases a little bit in Standard, how good they actually are. Well, that's Dredger's Insight. Do a little digging. And I guess we get a Split Skin Dow. Gain a little life. Well, land and go. But yeah, I feel like 3-color mana, it's going to be very interesting to see. So far, my impression is it's functional. Oh, it's a Felithar deck. Oh, this is almost like our budget Magic deck. Interesting. Felithar's scary. I don't know if I'd be as scared if I hadn't played the budget Magic deck, but that card can do some damage. To the point where I think we actually just got to kill it rather than developing our board here. Well, that's unimpend. Missing a land drop, not ideal. My current perception of 3-color mana, enduring ideal for our opponent, is functional but very painful, and somewhat inconsistent, which is fine. I don't think 3-color mana's got to be perfect, but it does scare me once we're in Monstrous Rageville. Like, yes, functional on early access day is nice. That's good. Functional against super streamlined, very consistent mono red. That's going to be another question. Is it good enough to stand up to that? I mean, not much is, but is there any chance it's good enough to stand up to that opponent? Nesting Bot going to draw a card. So we need to live to 6 mana, and it's going to be close. Opponent. Oh, okay. Well, it might not be close. Now I think we actually just die. The Felithar is going to get it done. Opponent getting in. Actually, they can't attack that much. Is this going to come down to us drawing an untap land? Is that possible? So we can play the Preacher. So if our opponent has nothing, we get the Overlord. They sack Nesting Bot. Oh, Resolute Reinforcements. That might do it. Are they going to have enough to kill us through 2 blockers is the question. Oh, another fella. They drew a lot of Felithars this game. Yeah, that one probably does it. Because now, yeah, they can sack the token, grow the dorks, sack the Resolute Reinforcements, grow the dorks, and... Ooh, yeah. Yep. Even through 2 blockers, that is enough. Oh, we could have survived 1 Felithar. And then if we hit an untap land, we just lock them, but... All right. Well, Felithar. Good card. Good card. In Standard. Trying to make it so we can never lose the game. And that means our opponent can never win the game. This hand looks pretty good. We don't have any combo pieces, but we have multiple ways to fill the graveyard. And once we fill our graveyard, we can tutor up the Perennation. Well, do so. We really just want to mill an Angel. Mill an Angel, hit our land drops, lock you on turn 6. Being able to kill the Land of Werewolves is nice. Opponent doing graveyardy things. Overlord of the Battlemark gonna do a little milling. Sultai, eh? Split Skindow. Well, let's just Dredger's Insight. Start filling the graveyard. Wow, okay. Let's take a Collector's Vault, I think. Well, now the challenge is getting enough mana, really. Because, I mean, Demonic Console to get a Perennation. Opponent has an Oculus, but they can't play it yet. Another Overlord. Yep. Does a little milling. So this is like Sultai Oculus. Gets back a Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I mean, Llanowar, very scary on turn 1. Not as much of a threat now. Like, the game has went on enough that 1 extra mana probably not going to beat us. Well, let's keep on dredging. Get back. Yeah, let's just take a land. Take the land, play the Collector's Vault. Well, okay, so opponent can Oculus now. But can they beat an Angel? That's the question, because we're, I think, 2 turns away. 2 turns away from doing the thing. A lot of decks don't have an answer for it. Opponent gonna do the Oculus thing. Can see him hovering on the graveyard. Well, here comes the Oculi. Opponent's gonna leave up the mana. What, do they have, like, Go for the Throat or something? All right, opponent unimpends. Oculus gonna do its thing. We draw. Ooh, okay. Well, that makes it incredibly easy. Well, that's easy mode. We draw the Perennation, so we don't even have to worry about trying to tutor it up. We're at 21, so I don't think we die this turn. And yeah, let's keep on dredging. Dredger's Insight Part 3. We just want to hit it. I guess it doesn't even really matter. I was going to say an untapped land, and we still don't mind an untapped land, but we don't really need it because of the treasures now. So I think just gaining back life with the Split Skin Dial is probably better. Well, next turn's a turn, opponent. Kill us now, because it is your last chance. And I don't think they can. I mean, the Dredger's Insight has helped here, although even without the life gain, the Oculus didn't come down to, what, turn 4? So this is the first turn they can attack with us, so we're kind of very safe here. Roiling Dragonstorm. I've seen these Dragonstorm enchantments a few times, and they've actually been very impressive. I feel like Dragons might kind of be a sleeper in this standard. I feel like Dragons might actually, I mean, check out the Against Odds deck with Dracogenesis. Whew. Whew. And more Oculus. Opponents, the funny thing about this deck is opponents got to be feeling good. They're like, oh man, we're doing it. Only one more turn and we kill him. We're almost there. And then Perennation. How about a Hexproof and Indestructible? Please don't Edict us. Like a Liliana would beat us. Or some random nowhere to run. Okay. That's actually kind of the nightmare, but it doesn't kill the angel and opponent scoops it up. Well, nowhere to run's usually a problem, but not if you scoop. Sweet. Ooh, it's Kibler time. Up against the Dragon Master himself. Especially scary time to be playing Kibler because Kibler knows his way around a dragon. This hand looks pretty excellent. We got the Collector's Vault. All we really need to do, we have the Angel and we have the Perennation. All we really need to do is, I mean, activate Collector's Vault a couple times and win the game. Quag Feast, well, let's just loot. Discard the Angel. In theory, we lock it in 2 turns. Opponent land. Ooh, Relic of Legends. That is about the best card I think our opponent could have if they're a Legends deck. And a Ruby, untaps Rona. It allows for such explosive turns. Good news is, I would be surprised if Legends can beat a Hexproof Herald of Eternal Dawn. Passing. Well, we untap. Another Perennation. Well, let's do some looting. See if we can please hit a land drop. Ugh, all right, another Angel. Well, that's awkward. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Okay, so all we need is an untapped land. Just an untapped land, and we win the game. Or theoretically win the game. I guess it's not 100%, but we should win the game. I mean, it doesn't look like we're under that much pressure. We can kill something. The problem is, if we spend a treasure, then we're not an untapped land away from winning the game. Kind of unfortunate that we've been looting and not hitting lands. Hitting a land here would have, I think, more or less guaranteed that we win. Even a tap land would have been so good, but we are playing Magic. Sometimes you don't find the land. Doing some manual tappage for a Annie joins up, eh? All right. Well, that's a good one. Double triggering all the legends. It's actually kind of absurd with Relic and Rona, isn't it? Because now you can... Rona essentially makes 2 mana for every legend you cast. So there's a Surrock. Double triggers untap on Rona. Do we need to kill Annie joins up? Maybe we should have... maybe we're just too greedy. Maybe... it's just so tempting because it's like if we just hit a land drop, we just win. But maybe we should have focused on killing stuff instead of trying to set up the win. Although I think it's probably just more unfortunate that we haven't been hitting our land drops, and that's making things challenging. Haja, loyal bodyguard. Well, that's kind of a problem for us too. That does mean if we're gonna kill something, we got to do it now. But we got to we're gonna stay the course. We're gonna stay the course. I don't think we die this turn, which means if we draw land, we win. If we don't draw land, then we can loot for a land and kill something. Herd Heirloom. Ooh, oh, that's actually kind of cute because you give the creature the ability, right? So Ruby double triggers. Herd Heirloom gives the creature the ability that when it deals damage, you draw a card. So it should double trigger on a legend. I had not thought about Herd Heirloom in Legends, but that actually looks really good. Yeah, draws 2. All right, Magic Gods. Just give us a land. Split Skin Doll is not a land. Well, okay. Land, please. Where are all of our lands? Like, we can Quag Feast, but then we're kind of in the same position where we need to draw an untapped land to... I mean, what wins us the game is the Angel. We just have to try to live long enough until we can reanimate the Angel. That is it. That is all. Pound it, loots. Do we die this... I don't see lethal on board this turn. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I see us going to 1, but I don't see us dying. Unless our opponent has some haste or something. In our perfect world, we just... The risk is if we have to spend a treasure on a removal spell to kill something, to not die, then we don't have Perennation mana for next turn, which is... That's the fear here. Man, it'd be so much easier if we just hit a dang land. Eshik, Dragon's Claw. On flavor with the character over there. A little emote. I'm gonna do some looting. All right, there's Eshik. Thankfully, Eshik does not have haste. It's gonna get big, but it doesn't have haste. We just really need to not have to cast removal this turn. That is it. Land and Herd Heirloom. All right, no cards in hand, although that is temporary. Trigger Ashik. Trigger Ashik. I mean, opponent's gonna draw a lot of cards here. Wait, Ashik draws cards too? Maybe that card's good. I mean, it's way better when it's double triggering. Panharmonicon makes everything. Everything looks so much more. Wow. Only attacking with Surak? Wait, do we just... Okay, sure. Didn't activate the herd heirlooms. What is happening? Oh, Dragonhawk. So there's gonna be 3 creatures power 4 greater, double trigger for 6, which means we take 12. So we gotta kill something. All right, so I guess this means we have to kill Annie Joins Up. Let's kill the Annie Joins Up. I mean, I guess we can't kill the dragon because of Fajar. Yeah, we have to just kill Annie Joins Up. This means we're at 5 mana again. Magic gods. We're even playing with one of your angels. Just please give us an untapped land. Even after all this, we actually just win the game, I think, if we hit an untapped land here. So Dragonhawk's gonna hurt, but at least it doesn't double trigger. Bonnet's gonna loot. Sure. Dragonhawk can exile 3. We're gonna take 6 on our end step. Oh, kind of unfortunate they drew into Dragonhawk there. It's time for the moment of truth. End step down to 6 and tap land. Unfortunate timing for that. For the want of a land. Well, if you gotta lose, I guess lose to the Dragon Master. Trying to lock some fools in Tarkir Dragonstorm Standard with Perennation and Herald of the Eternal Dawn. Indestructible, Hexproof, Platinum Angel, please, opponent. Ooh, Dragon Island. I didn't even know we could play with those. Tap land, go. This hand's fine. We can use the Split Skin Dial to pitch the Angel. We got the Preacher to maybe draw some cards. See what our opponent's up to. Mono white something looks like. Well, Split Skin. Yeah, let's actually just pitch the land for now. We have so many lands. I don't know if I want to let our opponent know that we're doing Angel things. That's one problem with discarding it early, is I feel like it sets off alarm bells for opponents. And they know, wow, I got to try to find some graveyard hate or find an answer for this. Get down, edge ya. I mean, Preacher's good, though. Preacher can potentially draw us some cards, which I like. Solemn Simul. Oh, maybe this is an artifact deck. Oh, you know what? I bet this is an Ugin deck. That would make sense. Do some attacking. Do we get it with both? Yeah, let's just get it with both. Oh, opponent. Gonna do a little blocking. Well, we get to draw a card. Opponent gets to draw a card, thanks to the power of Solemn. Let's get down our Dredger's Insight, do a little milling. Yeah, there goes a Perennation. Oh, 2 Perennations. All right. Well, let's get the Split Skin Dial. Okay. Perennation is like the one card in our deck we don't really want to mill, but... Well, let's draw a card with Split Skin. Collector's Vault's very good. That gives us an option to get the Angel in our graveyard whenever we want. Plus, it also lets us dig for Perennation, which is going to be important here. The funny thing is, let's assume our opponent is a Ugin deck, and I would bet they're an Ugin deck. Just like Mono White Solemn, to me that says I'm trying to ramp into Ugin. Maybe I'm biased because I built a Mono White Ugin deck too, but but that's my guess. Ooh, Gilded Lotus. Plus we see all these colorless cards. Why else play all these weird colorless ramp spells? Unless you're trying to do Ugin shenanigans. Aired Archway. So I feel like that's where our opponent's heading. The funny thing is busted as Ugin is, and Ugin is busted. Oh my god, that card's busted. As busted as Ugin is, it doesn't beat a Hexproof Herald of Eternal Dawn. That is one of the few things it is not going to beat. You know what? I think we keep the Get Lost. I'm just going to assume that they're ramping into Ugin. And having a Get Lost to kill it is going to be good. Because our opponent's going to mow down all of our other stuff if they are playing Ugin. We probably got to keep Ugin from ultimating, at least in the short term. Once we get the Angel, then I'm not sure they can beat us. Well, okay. We were correct. Ugin Eye of the Storm. Opponent gonna get rid of the Preacher. Ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, boom, boom. That was the sad version. Opponent gets the Ugin. Yeah, do your worst, opponent. Do your worst. Gonna make a little mana. This card's so ridiculous. Ugin is so busted. Oh, it's so busted. It's disgusting. Yeah, Gilded Lotus. Also gonna blow up Dredger's Insight. No respect for the Split Skin Dial. That Split Skin Dial is going to come for your Ugin. I'm just saying, opponent. Well, that's Collector's Vault. Can we find a Perennation, please? First, we get our Get Lost. We'll discard an Angel now. Our opponent can know what we're trying to do. I mean, at least we can kill the Ugin. multiple times even. So one thing about the Ugin decks, I'm not sure what their backup plan is. Like, if we just keep killing your Ugins, and you're playing all these Gilded Lotuses and stuff, what's your plan to kill us if it's not Ugin? And Ugin actually, hilariously, doesn't really kill you. As strong as, oh, Karn, okay. Well, yeah, there goes the Split Skin Dow. There comes a 5/5. Ugin doesn't actually kill you. The ultimate can kill you because of what you tutor up, but there's no damage mode. It's not like Ugin the Spirit Dragon that can bolt your face. Well, let's Wrath away the Karn, play the land. I guess we can loot. We have enough mana, right? Yeah, let's loot first. We're going to spend both of our treasures, but we have enough mana anyway. So let's loot. Discard the tap land. Get lost the Ugin. Even though, I don't know, Ugin here is just, what, drawing a card since there's no colored permanents to blow up anymore. You got them all. The Dragon Islands are pretty sweet. I do kind of like the Dragon Islands. Hedron Archive. I had Hedron Archive. Oh, Dark's okay. I take back what I said about backup plans. All right, can we please drop Perennation? Can we please drop Perennation? Oh man, opponent has the biggest, baddest artifact creature, Darksteel Colossus. It's a 12/12. Make that a 13/13 indestructible trampler. I mean, I guess we can hardcast the Perennation Angel that we have, or the Perennation Angel, the Herald of Eternal Dawn that we have. I wish it was a Perennation Angel. We just don't have the Perennation. Let's discard the fast land. We can also just take this hit. Opponent has 0 cards. I kind of want to just blow up the Hedron Archive. Blowing up both Gilded Lotuses is also kind of appealing, but I think we just want to cut our opponent off card draw to keep them from drawing into Ugin or, like, I don't know, some random graveyard hate or something. Yeah, let's Split Skin Dow. Discard the Surveil land. Gonna hold on to this Angel because worst case, if we can't find Perennation, we can still flash it in to survive a turn or two. Like, this artifact deck, Ugin will beat us, but they might not have a ton of removal that can kill Herald of Eternal Dawn. I mean, in our dream world, we still just draw Perennation. That would be the best. Yeah, let's loot first. Perennation. Well, all right, just a swamp. All right, well, I guess we got to do it the fair way. Split Skin ya down to 10. The good news is our opponent's at 10 somehow. How did our opponent take so much damage? Do we... Oh, I guess we hit him with a Preacher earlier. About it. Getting in. Well, surprise! We have an Angel Fog. Yeah, if the Angel dies, we die. Down to 7, but not dead. Wondering where it all went wrong. Overlord of the Baelmerk. Sadly, not a Perennation. Although we can actually hit our opponent to 2 here. We're not that far. If we hit a Skirmish Rhino, actually, off this Overlord, I think we actually just win with Skirmish Rhino. Well, I guess we can take another. All right, maybe we just give up on Reanimating Herald and just try to cast him. Plan Z. Exactly how we drew it up. Just cast some Angels against the Ugin deck. Well, opponent's got 1 turn to draw Ugin. Even if they draw Ugin, though, I think we live with the second Herald. So we might just have this one. They need some removal, and it's a bounce land. Well, Ugin is pretty busted, and it was cool to see Darksteel Colossus, but it turns out, sometimes, even without Hexproof and Indestructible, Herald of Eternal Dawn, still enough, opponent smashes us. Oh no, down to -20. Our opponent has killed us twice here. Oh, and there's... Now that we don't need it, we find the tutor to get the Perennation, but a simple attack will do, and Herald of Eternal Dawn. Sweet. And this hand, I actually kind of like. So it's a little awkward that we don't have white mana, but we have the Collector's Vault. This hand's not especially fast, but Collector's Vault gets Angel in the graveyard. We got some random bodies, even a removal spell. Voice of Victory. Well, all right, I think we need to kill the Voice of Victory. Voice of Victory has looked very good. It's looked very good. That card is super scary. It's almost a combo with War Leader's Call. Like, if you go Voice of Victory on 2 into War Leader's Call on 3, you're hitting for 8 the next turn, which is wild. Or hitting on 8 on turn 3, which is wild. Overlord of the Baelmerk can't hit lands, unfortunately. Yeah, let's Split Skin Dow, I guess. Ouch. Okay, there's a land. Discard the Angel. Well, step 1 achieved. Angel in the graveyard. Step 2 is we need a little bit more mana and a Perennation. Opponent, Carrot Cake. Gotta do a cake tier list. I feel like, honestly, if I was gonna tier list cakes, carrot cake would be pretty low. I mean, it's a cake, so it can't be that bad because there's very few cakes that are like F tier, you know, like, or D tier. Like, it's still a cake. It's full of like sugary, tasty stuff. But as far as cakes go, I feel like carrot cake, and I'm probably having a massive unsubs right now for saying this, but I feel like carrot cake is like one of the worst. It's like, if you're gonna eat cake, why do you want carrots in it? Isn't the whole point of eating cake eating something very unhealthy and delicious? So I feel like if you're gonna eat cake anyway, you might as well just embrace that you're eating cake and just eat, like, I don't know, some delicious chocolate cake or something. I don't know why we're talking now about cakes. Let me know what oh god, Elspeth, what's your favorite cake? Found it. Double tokens. Caretaker's talent. Are we just like dead? Elspeth is a frightening card. I don't think people have even like woken up to how good Elspeth actually is. Like, when you read it, you're like, oh, I play it and I make 2 tokens. That's pretty cute. The thing is, like, the absurd part is our opponent zeroing it. Right now they have 4 1/1s. We're at 15. If they zero it, all of a sudden they have 4 2/2s with flying. We're like close to just randomly dying, and those are 1/1s. If they had some real creatures, there would be a chat which is we would just straight up be dead this turn because of the 0. Like, that's how strong Elspeth is. I feel like Elspeth's gonna have a huge, I feel like Elspeth and Ugat, based on what I've seen so far, I think both of them are gonna have a big impact on standard. All right, bound it. Leveled up. Man, this is gonna hurt. Wait, are we just dead? We are. Wow. Well, okay, I didn't take into consideration the caretaker's talent, and we were super dead. Ouch. I know 2 skirmish rhino decks in 1 week might seem excessive, but I mean, it's a skirmish rhino. It's the son of siege rhino. Of course, we're gonna play a lot of it. Land. Go. What's our opponent up to? Do we want a surveil land? Another surveil land? Yeah, I think the answer is no. We have enough lands. Opponent on Orzhov, Capricornin, Shadowy Backstreet Part 2. About it. Gonna leave it on top. And Infestation Sage. Oh, so opponent, probably some sort of aristocrat style deck. Could be Felithar. Felithar, I think, my build of Felithar at least also played Infestation Sage. So it could be like some sort of sacky, aristocrat-y, Felithar-y deck. What do we take? We kind of want the Angel in the Graveyard. We already have a Collector's Vault. I guess 2 is fine. We have enough lands. Ooh, opponent gonna start their engines. So definitely an aristocrat style deck. We can play the Skirmish Rhino, just to have a body. We can also just get down Collector's Vault, but we can't loot this turn anyway. We can Quag Feast. You know what? Let's be mana efficient. Let's use all of our mana, play the Skirmish Rhino, get a blocker. Next turn, we can like Collector's Vault and activate it, or Collector's Vault plus Quag Feast. They don't have anything that's especially killable yet. Like, eventually the 3-drop is going to turn into a Blood Artist, but we don't really want to kill a token, don't want to kill Infestation Sage, and honestly, the 3-drop doesn't do anything until they get to max speed. Like, it's already used its ETBs, so we're not really in a rush. I don't know what's their best removal target gonna be. Oh, interesting. A little bit of a backup sacrifice. Zahar. Okay, Zahar's worth killing. That's actually worth killing. Opponent getting in. Also, our opponent's almost at max speed, which is also a little scary. Like, next turn they get to max speed, and then all of their random max speed dorks become very good. Like, Zahar's kind of insane when you have max speed. Even the uncommon's very good once you get to max speed. Bound it. Gonna sack to surveil. Hit us down to 20. So maybe we should focus on... Maybe we should focus on trying to get to the point where we can tutor up Perennation. Yeah, let's kill the Zahar with the Quag Feast. Mill a couple cards. Ooh, all right. Milling Split Scandal is kind of nice, because now we actually have Delirium. So let's just stay on defense. So opponent's going to get to max speed, but we're still at 20. So I think we can lock in 2 turns. We have to live for 2 more turns. Skirmish Rhinos actually felt pretty solid in this deck. Just as, like, we're not an aggro deck or anything. We're not usually winning with Skirmish Rhino, but just like a good body that gains us a couple life actually seems pretty relevant. Like, it seems good enough. It's just like this roadblock against the aggro decks. Oh, man, this is the kind of card you want to be good against, like, red aggro, right? You want this to be one of the cards that you bring in when you run into mono red, because you're like, I'm going to gain some life, I get a good body, I'll block your stuff. I don't know if that translates into current mono red, though. With Manifold Mouse, with Monstrous Rage, I'm not sure that Skirmish Rhino is actually going to be enough, but, well, let's Demonic Console. Grab our Perennation and trust that we don't die this turn, which, I mean, even at max speed, we shouldn't, right? We should be okay. So we'll just pass, and then end step we can loot away the Angel, make a treasure. Ooh, new Anafenza seems very good in Aristocrats. I still feel like Anafenza might be okay just as like a beater, but in Aristocrats, it can really pop off. Bulwark Ox, eh? Yeah, I don't think our opponent was aggro enough. Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what removal they're playing. There are random removal spells like Edicts that could theoretically get our opponent out from under this. I'd be shocked if they had Sunfall. Nowhere to War on, I guess, is possible, but probably not super likely. So we might just be in the clear. That's always the question with this deck. Like, if our opponent's playing a deck that can't deal with a Hexproof Indestructible Angel, we literally just win when we Perennation. If they're playing a deck that can, then it gets a little sketchy. Well, that's Collector's Vault. We will discard our Herald of Eternal Dawn, I think. Pay no attention, Aristocrats. And then we will do a little reanimating of our Herald of Eternal Dawn. And all right, opponent, can you beat a Hexproof Indestructible Platinum Angel? Oh, we're not going to be losing anytime soon. Well, we go back up to 17. So brutal. I always assume if someone doesn't just scoop to this, I always assume that that means they must have an answer, because if not, you're actually just literally dead, right? Like, if you cannot get rid of the Angel, there's no possible way you can ever win the game. It's also possible with this deck. It's not very likely, but I got in the back of my head that it would be possible to end up in a situation where we could play a Magic game that could never end. Like, imagine that we get our Herald of Eternal Dawn, Hexproof Indestructible, and our opponent can't answer it, and our opponent has like a Uremi or whatever, like an 8/8 flying dragon that we can't attack through. If we don't have something else, like a Preacher of the Schism that's indestructible with Death Touch, like, we could end up in a scenario where we can never die, so our opponent can't kill us, but our opponent can never die because we don't have big enough creatures to kill them. And I don't know what happens then. I guess you just, I don't know. Like, what happens if you get locked into the eternal game? Like, I don't know. I guess it goes down to clocking, and sooner or later, someone will run out of time. But I guess that, yeah, I keep thinking that could happen. And I kind of want it to, just because it would be so funny. Well, back to the game. Our opponent has not killed our Herald of Eternal Dawn, so we're doing fine. Another Collector's Vault. Do a little looting. Our opponent's building up a big board. We definitely would be dying. Do we just discard an Overlord? I think so. They got another Blood Artist. They can draw a bunch of cards. They're growing their Anafenza. Only non-tokens, though, so that does not grow Anafenza, but... All right, opponent. Did you draw an answer to the Angel? How about another Bulwark Ox? Is Bulwark Ox actually good? Being able to make your team indestructible is nice, but it seems like it takes some setup. Opponent gonna saddle up an Ox. And saddles up an Ox. They need a saddle creature that's like, when this attacks while he's saddled, remove Hexproof from all of your opponent's creatures and destroy target Angel. Opponent Bulwark Ox. They need something. I don't think these attacks are going to get there. I mean, we're just going to take it. I am not convinced our opponent can win this game. I think that we could not play another spell for the rest of this game and that we would win eventually. That is my current belief. Until our opponent proves us wrong with something that can deal with this Angel, I am just going to... The other nice thing about Angel is if our opponent doesn't have a massive flyer, it does also win the game relatively quickly. This is going to be a little awkward because they gain a lot of life with their Blood Artist, so it might not be that quick this game, but in general, a 6/6 flyer that is indestructible is going to get the job done without taking too many turns. Well, Overlord of the Baelmerk, Mill, wow, a bunch of nothingness. I guess we'll just take another Herald of Eternal Dawn. So one thing that's worth keeping in mind, and it doesn't matter to this matchup, but If we play a second Herald of Eternal Dawn that's not hexproof, in theory, actually, maybe there's not a card in Standard that does it. I was thinking that like a Maelstrom Pulse effect could potentially get you. Maelstrom Pulse itself doesn't literally do it, but what could happen is you have the one that's hexproof, the one that's not hexproof. For the Maelstrom Pulse, you could target the not hexproof one, but it would hit both of them. Maelstrom Pulse itself doesn't do it because it's a destroy effect, not exile effect. But if it was like an exile Maelstrom Pulse, which I don't think we have one of those in Standard, but if you had like an exile Maelstrom Pulse, you could kill the non-hexproof one, and that would also exile the hexproof one. Who opponent? Another Embalming Ascendant. More Blood Artists. More Blood Artists. Although they sacked their first Blood Artist. Oh, they got another one. All right, Vengeful Blood Witch returns. I mean, wow, triple Vengeful Blood Witch. Well, every creature that dies is a lot of life, a lot of drain. It's a good thing that we can't lose the game, or else. Ooh, speaking of Maelstrom Bolts, it's a good thing we can't lose the game, or else I think we would have lost this. We would have lost this game. Like, our opponent just, I mean, I guess they have a slow sack outlet, but they could just sack their entire board right to the Gas Guzzler, and we take a ton of damage. Like, every creature that dies is 3, right? Now, opponent gonna sack. Go back up to 9, draws a card. Oh yeah, we're super dead. If our opponent could kill the angel or we didn't have it. Smile at Death. I'm not sure how good, ooh, wow, there's the Bart. I'm not sure how Smile at Death is, how good Smile at Death is. I feel like it reads kind of powerfully, but it also reads a little slow. Well, that's angel number 2. I mean, our opponent's not literally dead if they don't want to be, because they can sack stuff to gain enough life. I'm not sure what they're playing for. At some point, I imagine they give up, unless they actually have some wild answer in their deck. But there's no way you're playing Sunfall in this deck, right? You just can't. If you're playing all this recursion stuff, all these death triggers, there's no way. You'd be playing Day of Judgment if you wanted a Wrath or Split Up or something. Opponent draining us down to 3. Wow, we're gonna. We've won most of our games with this deck at 0 life or below. Is it all of them? We might have won all of our games with this deck at 0 life or below. There might have been one where we didn't, but pretty much every game we're at 0 life when we win. Well, Split Skin Dow. Do a little looting. And, ooh, Demonic Consult. I mean, I don't even know what we need to tutor up, but that is a good card. Cast it? I mean, more Perrennations? I don't even know why we need more Perrennations, but it can't hurt. And then I guess we'll just get rid of Smiles at Death. I don't know if anything we're doing, again, actually matters here, because I don't think our opponent can win this game, but we might as well. We might as well kill the Mythic Enchantment. Our opponent's deck looks sweet. Like, I like the idea of Aristocrats. We played Aristocrats not that long ago, and it seems like there's some cool new additions, so maybe we revisit Aristocrats at some point. About it passes. I mean, they can stack their board again to survive, but at some point they're going to get tired of surviving. And it looks like that turn is, wow, that was a fast victory screen. Well, got him. Sweet, sweet. We are trying to lock our Standard opponents out of ever winning the game with Perennation and Herald of Eternal Dawn, trying to build the most ridiculous Herald of Eternal Dawn of all time. And this hand seems fine. I think we're going to keep the Maelstrom Pulse, actually. We don't have any removal in this hand. Ooh, Sarkin. Oh, there will be dragons. Ooh, all right. Magmatic Hellkite. Well, let's Split Skin Dow. We can loot away the Angel. Loot away the Angel. Play another Surveil land, and we'll keep the Forest. Well, now we need a couple more mana and a Perennation, and not to die. Dragonlord Servant. Not a fan of Dragonlord Servant. I feel like even in Dragon decks, I think it is not a good card. I never played in any of my Dragon decks. I know other people do sometimes. Maybe if there's some like combo with it or something, but I feel like just the static 1 mana reduction on a body that dies to cut down, not good enough. Like we can see it here, it's just not doing anything. I'd rather have like a Sarkin effect where at least I'm getting the ETB, so I'm getting the treasure out of it or whatever. I do want to try the new red mana dork. I feel like that card maybe it still also dies to cut down, but I'm intrigued by the new red mana dork just because we haven't really had anything like it before. Well, there's the Magmatic Hellkite opponent going to grow their Sarkin and blow up one of our lands, and we will just blow up And let's go Hellkite. We'll take the hit from the Sarkin. Long term, the Hellkite's going to be more of an issue, I think, because once our opponent stops playing dragons, then we can block the Sarkin. I'll get a plains for the future. Mimetic Hellkite is annoying. I'm still not really sure. Like, I think it's good at what it does. I don't know if it's good enough just to play as like a generic card. It definitely makes sense in dragons or when you have synergies for it. I don't know. Do you think like mono red will play it or some sort of big red deck? I'm curious if it's just like a generically good mid-range card. Probably depends a lot on the meta. Well, that's Dredger's Insight. Do a little milling, snag us a Llanowar Waste, and play the Llanowar Waste, and I guess we keep dredging. I feel like we played a lot of Dredger's Insights recently. I feel like this is the weakest Dredger's Insight deck that we built. Not like overall deck power, but we gain way less life with Dredger's Insight in this deck than a lot of them, because we just don't have that many creatures. We have some, but not a huge amount. Grab a land, pass the turn. Perennation? Can we get a Perennation? Just one. We only need one Perennation. That's all we ask, Magic Gods. We only need one. About it. Looking at the Split Skin Dowls. Thinking about their Stormscale Scion. You know, one card I have not seen much of. All right, Caustic Exhale. Gonna take down a Split Skin Dowl. One card I have not seen much of. And there's a Stormscale Scion, which thankfully this Maelstrom Pulse is a very clean answer to both of them. We are gonna get kind of hard smacked by the Sarkin here, though. Yeah, that's a big attack. Opponent smacks us down at 9. Oh, there's Perennation. There's Perennation. There's Perennation. We are so close. Let's Overlord of the Bailmerk. Do a little milling. I'm so dumb. Wait, we had Herald of Eternal Dawn in there and I forgot about it. We could have just done that. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna gain a little life. Our opponent, they might have had the Edict. We gotta play around the Edict, right? So go up to 11. Unimped. Next turn. I completely. Wow. Oh no. Oh, maximum punishment for the punt. Okay. You can give me the punt for that one. I will accept the punt. I guess I should have double checked. For some reason, I was thinking we didn't have an angel in our graveyard, and we need to find one still. Oh, wow. Okay. So Scavenger Regent. That actually might have worked out that our graveyard got exiled. And I'm not just trying to justify the punt, because Scavenger Regent is one of the few cards that people play that actually breaks out of the lock, because the angel is not a dragon. So if you get up to 8 mana, you can actually just give it -X to kill it. So it's one of the sweepers that can actually get rid of it. The challenge here is we are getting low on life. Yeah, let's play a Skirmish Rhino. Gain a little life. Unimpend. I'm not feeling great about this, though. Caustic Exhale. We can still chump. Yeah, we dropped to 2. We need... Okay, Dredger's Insight. Herald? Mill that Herald? Mill that Herald? Oh, the very last card. Oh my god, it was the last one. Oh, thank you, Magic Gods. Oh, okay. So we still got to close out this game because they're going to draw another Scavenger Regent eventually. Wow, that was close. Stormscale Scion, that's a good one. Grow the Dorks. Opponent passes. We still got to kill your opponent because if they get to 8 mana and find Scavenger Regent, they can kill us. Good news is we can get it with the Herald of Eternal Dawn. I mean, it's indestructible, so not going to die. Wow. What a roller coaster. We should have had a Herald of Eternal Dawn like 2 turns ago, but then we punted. But then Dredger's Insight, the hero of the day, coming through, ooh, another Herald. Actually attacking with the Preachers. We'll just leave him back. We could attack with them because of Death Touch, but opponent takes it down to 6. It's not lethal this turn anyway. So as long as we're not at negative life, this second opponent, okay, drawing too many lands in a row, and I think we might be good. I mean, I guess we just play this other Herald. I was thinking of holding it in case they had an answer and we could flash it in to stay alive, but it seems better just to force our opponent to double chump block here. Wow, there's all of our Perennation. Well, get a skirmish rhino. Gain a little life. Back up to 8. Getting out of the danger zone. And opponent, gonna block and block and block. Well, I mean, rhino ya. Down to 4. Back up to 10. Opponent, you better draw it this turn. We'll keep the tutor unimpenned. Do you have an answer? Do you have an answer? The answer appears to be no, and, well, that's Perennation. It's pretty sweet. So what do we learn this week about Perennation combo in Standard? And record-wise, we went 8-7 with the deck overall, although we're playing an early access day, so I don't put a lot of weight in records because it's kind of a unique meta. It's only best when people are trying out a bunch of new things. So what do we learn about this deck and the new cards in the deck? And I gotta say, the plan of reanimating Herald of Eternal Dawn with Perennation, it actually was oddly effective. I think I maybe had one game where it didn't actually work out once I did it. The opponent had like an edict or something. But in general, at least in the early access meta, the plan of just making a Hexproof Indestructible Herald of Eternal Dawn and winning by never losing actually worked incredibly well. The question is this going to carry over to the quote-unquote real meta? Like, is it going to carry over to Standard proper? That's what I'm not exactly sure of. The biggest issue with the plan in the normal meta is Nowhere to Run is really good against it. If our opponent's playing like Esper Self-Bounce, they probably have Nowhere to Run. Nowhere to Run can deal with Herald of Eternal Dawn by getting rid of the Hexproof, even if we reanimate it with Perennation. And then some decks might have Sunfall, which also can get around Herald of Eternal Dawn. The biggest issue we ran into was actually the new Black Dragon that has the Omen mode of double black and X, and you're able to give everything that's not a dragon -X until end of turn. There was a couple of times that we'd have opponents get up to like 8 mana and be able to actually kill Herald of Eternal Dawn that way. So we'll have to see how it works in the real meta, but at least for early access day, it actually worked oddly well. The rest of the deck, I love Skirmish Rhino. Skirmish Rhino, once again, felt just really solid. It's not like flashy or spectacular, but it gains a little life, it deals a little damage, it's got a big butt. We got to see against some aggro decks, just having Preacher of the Schism and Skirmish Rhino, we're really good at just keeping our opponent from attacking for a couple of turns, and that's all we really needed, because the biggest challenge of the deck is honestly just getting up to 6 mana and finding the pieces, because if we can do that, our odds of winning are really, really good. You saw the game against like Kibler, where all we needed was to hit an untapped land for like 2 or 3 turns in a row, and we just couldn't find the land. They couldn't find the land, and ended up 1 mana short of winning with Perennation and reanimating the Herald of Eternal Dawn. So that was a challenge. The other thing I wanted to mention is the mana base, I think, is perfectly fine. So at the beginning of the week, we played some Felithar aggro as a 3-color deck, and I kind of felt like the mana base, it was fine, but it was really painful. It was a little bit inconsistent. I think if you're a 3-color deck that's a little bit slower, like this deck, where we're not trying to like curve out from turn 1 or turn 2 and just flood the board with stuff, but we're trying to do things, you know, turn 2, 3, 4, 6 for our big turn. But in a slower 3-color deck, the mana base actually wasn't much of a problem. Yeah, we had a game where we didn't hit all of our lands, but that's just Magic. That's not a 3-color problem. You're just going to have some games where there's not a bunch of lands on the top of your deck. That's going to happen some percentage of the time. But I think slower 3-color decks, the mana base actually seem pretty functional. Like, we have a triple white spell in here, double black spell in here, Perennation's 3 colors, and we didn't really have much trouble being able to cast our stuff on time. So I think maybe that's where it lands. Like, aggro 3-color mana, gonna be a little bit questionable, but once you get up to kind of mid-rangey 3-color mana, then it's perfectly functional. But anyway, that is Perennation combo. That is winning Magic by making it so you can never lose at Magic with Hexproof and Indestructible this time. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back next week with some more sweet Tarkir Dragonstorm action. So until then, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.